There you go. I swear to God.
Jesus Christ.
I swear to God. Hey, yo, welcome to the stream that just started. What's going on? Say hi to YouTube. You know, there was no technical difficulties going on here. Abyss has just ended. It ended on the 23. Goat like Jordan. You know what I mean? She knows what she was doing. I saw the vision. What's up, Kurrigan? But anyways, how's everyone doing?
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Chilling.
You ready to talk about this Abyss?
Yeah.
They said nice tech skills dissipated by AD's. His name is Street Clothes. I don't know who AD is. I only know Street Clothes. He said, "My lord."
No, here we go.
Greater wisdom. Miles is back.
The
But,
the real Wisdom King from One Piece. Smile.
But okay, I got a mouthful about this chapter. I think, kind of, sort of, not really. I don't know, but like, I thought it was incredible, and I'm sorry, guys. Kaz's stock has gone up. My intrigue in him. I don't know how to explain it. Whereas it's hard for me to say it, but like, I never thought Kaz was unimportant, right? But I definitely think his level of importance has gone up significantly with these couple of last chapters. And I don't know if you and I'll talk about like, because you're not the only person that I heard like say like, oh, he's kind of hating on Leaves or whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I think I'm starting to understand his character more with this last chapter. But what did you guys think in general before I kind of go into detail?
I'm in pain.
Of what, like the chapter or Kaz?
The chapter, but you can talk about Kaz.
I mean, it's both at the same time, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I'm still in pain. Still, like, how am I supposed to feel that she ends the arc and like, aha, Calavinka and Bran went off on their own adventure, but you're not gonna see it yet, so fuck you. And I'm just, God damn it, what are we doing? I'm so pissed. But I was here for it. But I'm also.
They said Lord Miles are truly a dragon amongst men. There you go, bro. You're a dragon.
Wild.
Jesus.
I'm also pissed because now we're getting
nobodies.
we're getting side stories before we get to an arc named Kubera and Kubera. I'm so upset.
We knew I knew. I don't know if you remember, but I knew the highest was coming after this.
I remembered, but then she puts Kubera and Kubera in front of me, and I'm like, "Fuck the side stories."
So what does that really mean, though? Which is the crazy part. Like the very obvious. Like implied is like God of Earth and Leaves.
I need the obvious,
but it's like, what about Lila though? Like, you know what I'm saying? What does that even mean, Kubera? That's crazy.
I fucking need it.
Mm-hmm. God, the illusion didn't work on Kaz because of a triple down attribute. That's what Glam said, which is fair.
Jokingly.
Oh, that's what
I jokingly said that, but I think that helped a lot. I'll say that because ain't no way a kid is fucking reading through God's Transcendental unless they're not triple mill.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I took that as well. Then there's just other.
And by saying this is also Teo hype, so you can say that she did the same thing. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's a silent magician too. So
the reason I didn't take it in that way, though, it wouldn't be crazy to me. Is solely because is the idea that the triple nil allows it to not work on him, because it did work on him, in my opinion. Like from what I can tell, the Transcendental is working on him. He just is aware that it's not real. It was one thing if he like did it and like he still sees like the normal world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I took it as, yo, his like attachment to reality is so strong. This is like a comic book, like it's hard to explain this for people who don't read a lot of comics, but there's certain characters whose like understanding and attachment to the reality is so powerful, you can't really reality wipe them or change their like or put them under any like genjutsu or illusions because they adhere to reality. Wolverine's a bit of a rare case because his brain can like heal his memories. So even if you rewrite the world in his memories, his old memories will come back because of his general healing factor. I kind of took it in a similar way where it was like, if I had triple nail and it didn't work on me, I wouldn't see what everyone is seeing. I guess is kind of how I took it. But it's working. But he's like, no, this feels like the dream. What I was experiencing out there, even though it was scarier, that felt real, and it to me was somewhat reminiscent of Wish, the 13th or the last special chapter that we saw as of right now, where Yuta put her under that, and she's like, nah, bruh.
I think it's much more likely that triple nil, when you're not trained in the attribute, because you can get trained in the attribute, it's more likely that the effect will take place and you can initially like see through it after a period of time. Where if you actually like up your skill level with it, like certain transcendentals just don't work on you. That's what I think it is, because otherwise there's no like, I mean, there has to be some sort of upgrading to nil, otherwise it wouldn't really exist in the burst. It's like a thing. Otherwise it'd just be extremely broken for like little kids being like, "Fuck you, God Transcendental." I'm just not gonna see it.
I'm trying to remember all the things. Isn't it that basic triple nail is because I forget, I can't remember the first 2 percentages, but once you reach, if you have all 3, just passively you have a 99% like almost like, is it just like abilities are weakened by 99%, right? I forget the exact wording of it, but it's like, I think it's transcendentals and even magic. I think both are included, that like they're 99% weaker if you're attacked by it. So I guess that's why the thing of like, if you're just strong enough, that 99% kind of makes it like it's like damn near ineffective. But I guess in this case, since it's literally a god using it, even though 99% is taken away, it's still strong enough that it could still impact him, where it's like, oh no, I see the illusion, as you said, but like I can somewhat pass through the veil of like, this isn't real.
I have a bit of a pushback, but I'll say in a second though. But I hear you. But
yeah, 99%
that's a nullification.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. As an Earth attribute merchant, that arc name had me high. Finally get to see more of the God of Earth. Yes, I'm excited for that. Tierra conducted a poll to either continue with the main story, do side stories first. More people want to side stories first. Whatever Kurigam did in like release order, that's what I want. So if Kurigam went from this to the side chapters back to season 3, I want to do the side chapters first, personally speaking. I want to get that done first. But I'm not the one putting in the work to translate it, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that would be my preference. I'll put my 2 cents in that hat. I think the magic and transcendental resistance was from the chaos silent magic, right? I'll check in a second. Like Taraka magic, this made me think, is Little Kubera the result of... I actually thought about this. I really did. I really thought about this. I thought, like, I know they could just transform and, like, disguise himself, but I'm like, why is he in chibi form? Was that, like some type of, like, side effect of him using the transcendental? Whenever we see him in his little form, even in the past, it basically implies that he is the future Kubera. This may not be true, and perhaps he just switches back and forth whenever he wants, I guess. Yeah, that's a I never ruled that out, but I was just like, wonder why he's kind of chibi here for. But let's kind of go through some stuff first. So Kaz wakes him up. People from the city are back. He's like, huh? Auntie Anna came back. Yeah, the village, they're all back. And he comes out and he looks and he's like shocked. So you see that this panel is kind of crazy though, because it's considering like the last time we saw like Lee, she was like in the black and white, like bring her back, blah blah blah, and then you just see them there. At first, I thought, I don't know if you guys can see this, but on the left, a lot of the characters are kind of just like outlines in general. But so I thought like this was like a even stronger indicator that a lot of it was fake. But on the right, I could see a little bit of hair and some detail. I think it's just like a drawing choice that's not particularly meaning anything serious. Shout out to what? To Garuda Women, though?
Garuda Women.
So, Abyss
that
23.
True.
I feel it. I was right, wasn't I? I told you that even if we waited patiently, they'd be back by morning. Right? Kaz, hurry, come here. There's lots of things here. Yummy, yummy. I'm proud of you for waiting. The whole night wasn't as scary. She's like, not at all, blah, blah. And he's like, what is she talking about? I'm dreaming. I have to wake up. And he slaps himself, right? So, okay. So maybe my pushback is slightly wrong. Because I guess I didn't recognize high-ass remembering what was like happening beforehand, where like they would all be back. But it seems to me like the moment Kaz wakes up, he's like, something's wrong, something's off. I think in my head, again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right on this. In my head, it probably would have been different if Kaz was like unsure, or like he's like, is this real? Oh, was I tripping? Was that a dream? Where he's like, no, like he's questioning the current reality that he's seeing. And I don't know if like, do we know if there's a general way to fight psychological transcendentals? I don't remember. Or do you have to be strong enough to just resist?
I don't think we've ever seen them really used in combat before, so I don't know if that's ever been a thing.
No, because I remember, because I want to say I recall in Anata them kind of getting hit by one when they were all inside in the stone wall structure, and someone I don't know, maybe there's like a comment that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head that's not coming to me.
Because I always
uses it.
Yeah, I only remember them being used like outside of combat. Like I can't remember one.
No, Gandhi used it, I guess, against Chase in combat, right?
Did he?
Yeah, like when he put him underneath the frozen tears
against Chess.
Yeah, remember, because that's when they had to get Lenny to go into his mind.
But that was he was already unconscious then. Or Chess was.
He did switch back in the water channel, which gave
because
us
they were trying to do a different version of dream tracking, Miles. They were trying to do a different version of dream tracking. He turns into it
every time he wants to avoid attention, so I was going to do it here. But who is he avoiding attention from, I guess, would be my question. Because aren't most of the people here fake? There's only... Let me make sure I got this right. There's 3 real people here, right? Kaz, Hayash, and Lees, correct?
Yes.
And I guess if you add the God of Earth, Kubera. So I guess what would he be hiding from or trying to be inconspicuous with? Do they know his appearance already or something like that? Like, would they recognize him as a God of Earth just by seeing him? It's a genuine question. Not rhetorical.
What's the question again?
Like, would they see God if God Kubera was in his regular form? Would they know it's him?
I mean,
maybe not, but he is like 7 feet tall. So
there are a lot of humans that don't know a lot about him, so maybe not.
This is like kind of a reach, but maybe like if he was in his full form, and like Lee's somehow got like a look at him as an adult, that might like trigger her to like. It might trigger her remembrance of like this might being fake. I don't know.
To be honest, my first thought was that maybe he's in kid form to like seem more approachable to Kaz than if he was an adult. That was my first thought. Although I'm not sure that
that's not crazy to me.
Although I'm not sure if Kubera as a character would care about that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. That was just my first initial thought as to why.
Okay. He's not that stark in appearance anyways, unless the other entities don't know about his chibi form. Maruna's training to gain resistance was getting thrashed by Senpati. Yes, you can get out of them somehow. Lee's did free yourself, and Maruna and the other. Yeah, I did see Lee's. Yeah, it's true. My kind of question is like, do you have to have some type of like ability or whatever, or can you just be like, it's not real? And like if you're strong enough to resist genjutsu illusions or like reality warping stuff, you can break out of it with your mental strength, is basically my question, because then I could probably apply this to Kaz too.
Yay!
Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work. Glad to see Glam enjoying the series for once. Very ready to get to the present with the past and Shriek stuff. It's crazy. We're almost there. I know. I want to see what like Kaz is doing at present time too, and everyone else too. She got the staff, bro. We're gonna talk about the staff. What about Manaka trying to pacify? That is psychological. I forgot about that actually.
I think it's like a mix of a mix of
this man can't talk every stream we're in. He at least has one moment where his brain just shuts off and he can't speak anymore.
It's fucking late, bro. It's a mix.
It's 10:45.
Man, people will be tired. It's a mix of like psychological strength and I think like I don't want to say like common sense, but like it seems like psychological transcendental to like kind of have like some like internal consistency to them. And I'm trying to remember the specific thing when Arivata. It seems like when Arivata, does her psychological transcendentals, it seems like she creates fake worlds. That's how she does it, like in her genjutsu. Because when she used it against Lee's, and I think this was a side story. Remember, she was like, Yuta was human, and she was like kind of going to college, and they were like living their best life. But like she realized it was fake because of like I can't remember the specific phrasing. But there were like trigger words that like kind of caused her to like not like lose her mind, but realize that this shit's not real, and she was like kind of freaking out. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like there's like I don't know like the way in which it's made. So there could
be multiple ways to possibly get out of it.
Yeah.
And maybe depending on the type or how strong the transcendental is, a bunch of different intersecting variables could affect how you stay in it or get out of it. Because I would just argue. whatever happened to Kaz or whatever it is that he was thinking about, it just whatever the god of Earth Kubera did, it wasn't enough to overwrite what he already knew. That's basically how I'm taking it. But you'll see what I have to see in greater detail in my video soon. So he's like, I fell asleep first. It's like, yeah, he fell asleep first, and he's like telling him specific things like the autobiography. Don't you remember? Like that book's not an autobiography, bro. It's like, no, I didn't fall asleep. And by the way, hold on, am I showing this? No, I'm not showing this. Kurigum's a bastard for this. This was so funny to me. The sparkle killed me, bro. When he opened the curtain and she had the little twinkling sparkle, I said, "Don't do that to Kaz. They making him look extra crazy." She added the twinkle. Man said, "Boy, seems like you had one hell of a dream." Like, don't do him like that.
He got absolutely wrecked.
Yo, I would be looking down like, fam, am I losing it? He's like, I know what he's going through. Like, am I losing it? That's crazy. At least he's pretty twisted mentally, so maybe her trauma gave her resistance. That's actually interesting to think about. I think something made her remember the attack on the village. I think she rejected happiness there. There's that too. But okay. So they're there, they're partying. Look at him. Was it all a dream? No, it wasn't a dream. Right now, this feels like one. He's looking around. He's like, maybe I could find out, go to the city. He's like, I want whoever took the princess name, so he remembers Brilith, all of those things. And then, what do you guys think about God Kubera's line to him here? About which one would you rather be a dream? Until Kubera leaves comes to the realization on her own, you'd better keep your mouth shut. If you don't want to miss out on at least a wisp of peace, that is. Because I have a couple of interpretations for this, but how did you guys take this little exchange? Because after this, it goes into the Maruna stuff.
I mean, it's basically what happens in terms of like what the actual events are. Like their lives are basically peaceful until Maruna comes.
My question is basically this: when he says you get a wisp of peace, does that mean if this doesn't happen, they'd all die? Like this
Maybe.
Is the only way for them to all live under this line.
He might have killed them if he said no.
Huh?
He might have killed them if they had said no. Because he was about that action with Lise when he first saw her anyway.
Okay. They gaslighting him to talk. They gaslighting my mans, bro. They gaslighting him. He was straight up going to kill him, I think. Okay. I also found it interesting God Kubera didn't seem surprised Kaz wasn't affected by the illusion. That's a good point, Revenant. Like, Kubera's he's pretty chill about it.
Like, yeah, like I'm assuming he'd seen some future shit with Kaz, probably too. Maybe in that moment. Like, this dude he's the character that fucks around with time the third most out of any other person, or actually fourth most since Ananta was introduced, that I've ever seen.
I think they've already interacted before.
You mean like like literally already, or like?
Yes, like already.
Or do you meant in general in the story?
Like already, like before, like this, because like again, this goes back to the thing of like, Kaz specifically took out Kubera's page in the summoning book from Lise. Like he stole it from Lise, and Lise like, give me back my book. And when she gets it back, he has a page ripped out of Kubera. Mm-hmm. He like, so like that's why it's weird where it's like he has some high level of understanding of who Kubera is and like his relationship to Lise, and that I don't know if he knows the exact future of like this is exactly what happened, but he understands like something bad would have happened. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's like, no, like this shouldn't be happening. Like he freaks out a bunch in Abyss about like, no, like this can't be happening. So like it's just one of those things of like I just don't know to what degree of like what he actually knows. That's just the hard thing of putting it down. But like with that thing with Kubera and Kubera not really seeming to like be surprised about what Kaz does, it seems like I would assume they would have some level of like relationship before.
See, I okay, so like that's interesting because I think for me, I would argue maybe they had that now as the only two people who are aware that illusion is it's not real. I wouldn't be shocked if the God of Earth every once in a while will like just kind of flow in, just check on stuff and look and like maybe tell Kaz a 1-2. So, but maybe you're right. Maybe it happened already. Maybe I don't know because you have to wonder why he wanted that page or that book. or unless he was just messing with her. So it's a good point. Someone on Reddit noted that he threatened Kaz instead of just forbidding him to talk about it to the other people like he did during the Anata arc. Did he do that though, for real? Or didn't he just say that like you'll get like bad karma or something like that?
Yeah, he said
does that
karma
actually forbid them? Like they can't even say it kind of way. Like some of the times you can't actually like you literally physically can't do it. Like you cannot speak it; it won't let you. Is it like that, or more so like they're so scared of blasphemy, they're not going to do it? All right, nice talk.
Oh, I don't know. Well, so when you say things, like, I don't know if you're speaking rhetorically or not. So
anyways,
I would say maybe a mix of both.
Okay.
Because like when they say karma, there was that specific note of like karma was like used in reference similar to like the way in which sin was used. So I don't know if they actually did, they would somehow accumulate some level of like sin along with it. Or they're super religious, so they might just be like, "Oh, blasphemy! I'm gonna go to hell." So it could be either or, or maybe both.
I'm not really sure what to make of karma at this point, especially if sin doesn't actually, or certain sins in regards to like blasphemy and this other shit kind of doesn't exist.
Maybe it's related to why his mom left him before this event. I did not see it that deep. He just didn't want Kaz to mess it up. But why? Why is this important? Basically, what I'm is basically like I have questions, sir. That's a good point. We never saw that in effect. It was mostly my assumption based on Kubera's comment about investigating the culprit. Because the reason that I asked this is because of this. You have to think about okay, so are we assuming that the first time she summons him when he's being summoned as like the whatever other form, right? Remember the other form that he used, the whatever loses of the universe, blah blah yada yada. This is the first time that Lee's and Kubera meet, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the first time he's like, "What the? You did not summon me. What the hell's going on?" He's like, "I did do it. Blah blah yada yada." This one and third. Okay, cool. And the next time he's like, still like, "Bro, what is going on?" And then he just does this. Why?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then he's like, "Kaz, keep your mouth shut." Because I'm like, why would you go so far for this girl you just met twice right now? What's the reason?
It has to be some sort of vision of the future with Lee's type shit. Because when he met Lee's again, he didn't outright kill her. He gave her another choice when he first saw her again. Now the weird thing is that like
I'll move on.
Like the weird thing with that scenario now, based off this, is did Lee's make herself forget what kid Kubera looked like, or an adult Kubera looked like when she was calling him Mister, even back then, or did she just genuinely not remember at that point in time?
With the way that her mind is kind of warped and the trauma that she has, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow she doesn't even remember. But I don't know.
I think she forced herself to forget it because intuitively she remembers him the moment he touches her head, which is like when they first meet, and she's like, "This feeling is like ... So I think intuitively she definitely knows, but again, Lee's is just the master of like forcing herself to forget shit.
Just like that's like Yuta and Maruna being brothers.
Yeah. And the same thing with like we kind of talked about this, Glenn, but like do you
Lee's affecting him?
Like Naya, at what point do you think that Lee's probably realized like that this is an illusion?
Who the fuck knows?
The village one?
I would actually argue really, really early on.
It might have been right after it was blown up.
And honestly, I think it was way before that.
I was gonna argue she didn't know until I think that the point that I can like assume that she knows for sure is when her and Kaz meet. I feel like she either knows or she has a very strong inclination, and she was hoping that he would say something truthful or tell her and it could confirm her suspicions, and he didn't.
I'd say either then or when she sees Kubera again and says you're as incompetent as ever. There's literally no other reason for her to say that to him either.
The reason why I say that, I really wish I kept the fucking chapter when I was doing this. I don't have the chapter. I feel like this is before Sierra meets Asha, so whenever I look back and check. But there's a panel of her when she's a kid, when she's younger. It looks like her 15-year-old self. But she literally, this is her like reminiscing. She says, "There was a time when I tried to not wake up from a dream, even though I knew it was a dream. I asked them to stay with me." And it's her when she's younger, and surrounded by her mother and her mother's two friends, which to me implies that she knew this shit wasn't real, but she just kept going with it.
Do you think that's why she rejects it later when Yuta tries to do it to her, because she's already been there,
and
done that?
that's like she was like faking to herself as she always does to like keep like the status quo.
It's interesting. Lee's really the master of denial, I swear. I reject. Second time there wasn't even something, it was just a Kubera Nim. She said, "Hey, yo. Hey! Hey! Where my mom at?
Hey! Listen!
Like, hello? Watch out! I just thought the timelies or future vision telling Kubera that might want that. That's not impossible. Also, season 1, her reactions to post their death was unnatural too. I think there's a lot of legitimacy to what Miles is saying, but okay.
I think my shit the entire time.
What?
I think my shit. I didn't hear a single thing anybody said.
Your shit did just die. You got kicked out of the Discord, but we just made memes about Navi. You're fine.
So
okay,
we get to Kalavinka, Ran, and Big Maruna. So they're like, she like talk about Phoenix magic. She's like, why y'all being silent? Her face sparkle. Request to save him with talk about his family. Ran is not asleep. What is this gimmick? Just upright sleeping. Why did he do this? They said Miles, that scene is season 3 episode 1 is running the intro. Is it? Oh, okay. So they put this basically. I don't know what happens in this part again. Actually, I'm sorry. All the things are all over my head. I know he eats her through the portal and opens up, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't ask you to do this." Blah blah blah, and then he goes through. Okay. Yeah.
The way he just flicked her into a mountain.
I saw it coming though. I'm like, he's gonna yeet her in there. He's gonna just.
I thought too, but I didn't think she would cause a small explosion in the distance.
Didn't Curry gonna have a comment at the end like people are like, "What if she died?"
Yes,
from that throw. Like, you're right. So what's the exact line that you're right about?
It's the beginning of episode 1 of season 3. It's like literally like the first piece of dialogue where she talks to herself before she opens her eyes and goes to town on like the Tarakas and the Sororo.
Okay, so they talk about stuff, family things, time travel. She talks about being in the room of spirit and time for 100 years. 1 year on the human realm means 100,000 years, and that's it. But like, so she went to type her
there. I met Black Frieza.
Chill. Yo, is that why she's not? Is that Frieza's nice? You chatting with Kalavinka? Is why he's nice. You know, that's the new gimmick from now on. She only nice because she met Kalavinka in there. She trained him. She trained Frieza. But how long is it exactly? Actually, 1 day in the human realm equals 100 years of training in there. Training specifically, right? Hey, Naya, what was that voice? That Black Frieza is crazy. What voice? What did I do? A dimension where time is different. They talk about like Vishnu. Oh yeah, so I think this line is important. When Vishnu Sam, this is the first and last time we took alive.
Yeah,
there. Does that mean he's brought many of dead ones there? For what reason?
Experiments.
For what reason did he do that?
I don't know.
So
maybe he's just a sick fuck. Who knows?
Evil. He's eating them. No, I'm kidding. As you said, Vishnu had high expectations for you. Expectations for you. And he's like, nah, none of us here are normal. Okay, so look at Ran. Ran's face here just kills me because he's supposed to be fake sleep. I'm like, what is this? What is this glance? Like, go back to fake sleep, bro. This is so funny, bro. 432 days in a year in Kubera, I think. I actually didn't know that. That's true. I didn't know that. It was longer than our actual year. Vishnu Nim, there's parts about your story that you hid right. Okay, so he can't. So this is Kubera he's talking about, right? Or you think it's Rao?
I think he's talking about Lee's.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry,
say
Lee,
Lee's.
that's what I meant. Sorry, Lee's.
Oh, okay.
Kubera Lee's. I gotta do better. We gotta do better with these. When you say Kubera, we gotta know who you mean exactly. But I was like, is it because she's in a weird time mode? He can't remember her. Is that why? The typical explanation, or do you think it's
because the only times he's seen her was when she was like whited out in like the time portal bullshit as well.
I only say that because like I remember some lines about him not being able to really discern humans without like some very specific trait, like the green hair, that's Rao.
I don't
you know what I'm
if
saying?
That's the case for this.
No, I know. I'm not saying that's playing a factor here, but
okay,
I just always remember that where I'm like, you people all look the same to me. We racist? He's like all humans look the same. Like I don't know. So I just think about it sometimes, but I do think there's it's probably because of that, right? So
but like if it's not that, it's weird that Rand can see it and remember it, and then he doesn't. That's the other thing too.
Because do you think Rand is refusing to explain, or also can't?
Well, my first thought is like it might be a Sura thing, but the only way for me to confirm that is if another Sura sees Lee's in that form and doesn't remember her, which I don't know if we'll ever get.
Mm-hmm. I feel it.
I'm trying to see the actual thing because when we're talking about the other time he met her, we're talking about when she opens the portal from.
No, he did recognize her as Rao's daughter, but he did, I'm gonna check. But I remember him having to use something as like he needed some type of visual indicator, I think
it was the curly hair. Like it was specifically
it was
curly
something
hair.
like that. Where like I could just look at Miles and look at Glam and go like that's Glam, that's Miles. With Maruna, it's like, oh, he towers. Glam's like 6'2", like he towers over the other one. Therefore, he must he needs something like that to discern that they're different. Is what I'm saying.
For the record, 6'3", 6'3" for the record.
Oh, sorry. See, look at that. Look at him over there.
So,
he a Sora. Yeah. Look how big he is.
No one likes either of you tall bastards. Okay, we get it. You're tall. Congrats. Clap it up. Yay, tall people. Yay. Kick rocks.
Right?
But
so tired of tall people, bro.
So this is weird because
they're female.
Because I'm looking at the Kubera chapter where like when she picks up the sword and opens a portal, because she looks relatively normal in that, right? Mm-hmm. But when she leaves, it kind of looks like she's phasing out of existence, but she's not in her white form that we see later on. But I guess the phasing out of time,
he sees her again at least when he's turning 5th stage. I don't know if he remembers. No, because him and Rand were already gone when she pulled up on Utah. So so he saw her again when the Ananta scroll was being fucking written over and shit, and he had to take on the Sim.
Yeah,
and he knew it was her. Like he knew it was Lee's when he saw her, if I recall.
Yes, he recognized her at that point. So maybe because but he couldn't remember that when they brought up the name even like a chapter ago. So
I mean, it might have something to do with taking on Ananta's sins, and he doesn't remember for some reason.
Ananta did have points where Ananta had points where he didn't remember shit.
Yeah, it's like it might I don't know why that would be the case, but it could be that.
I don't know. That's a good point, actually. After the encounter with Yuta's 4th stage, he sees her back when they enter the portal. Okay, so Lee's disappears there. The portal opens. Oh yeah, there's a little endearing moment here where I like to where he's like, I just wanted to be with you because I haven't seen you in so long, and she smiles and flies up towards him. Shout out to Glam's belligerent girlfriend, Palavinka, and
she can get it.
Then so Rand goes, that's Conche. I should actually pull this on screen. That was on screen. My bad, guys.
So can her mom, by the way.
The exact point of time is not clear, but seeing as the scenery is similar to where we arrived, maybe they open correctly. Do you guys think that this is actually the right time period in the universe and stuff they're going back to, or do you think it's not?
No, I think the two of them are going to have some more time shenanigans. I think Rand and Kalavinka are going to have more time shenanigans before they get back.
Okay.
I think Maruna's going to stay until the portal opens, and he's going to probably just end up in space fighting Symphati as soon as he comes out. For his end.
I think it's the act. I'm trying to remember. Oh wait, no, they said Conches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then Rand would have to have found a way to get back. So yeah, there might be a little bit more.
Yeah, I think there's definitely still more for the two of them.
Yeah,
How much sooner did Rand get to the planet than?
I think what will happen is that they'll both arrive at around the same time, but Rand will have gone through more time travel shit by the time he gets there. Now, whether or not Kalavinka's on the planet in the current time with him, I don't know if that's going to be the case.
No,
which could be a good or bad thing.
For some reason, I don't think so. But
yeah, like I want her to, because I think it would be kind of lame for her to still be time traveling after all this stuff. But that's just me.
Haku is catching up with a snail pace. He might do reviews every 10 to chapters, though. I mean, Haku paid attention, which is good, but it take a while. Yeah, it's gonna take him 4 years to catch up at the rate that he's going. So he's too big to go through. He's like, no, I'm gonna wait here a little bit longer. We can't miss this chance. He eats her through it. She was so funny. The boom. Look how Rad looking at him, bro. I'll be honest with you. He's like, I protect his sympathy for the sake of future, but not Kalavinka. I don't know what the original fate of her was. I just brought her here out of my greed, probably destined to not reach to year N23. Nevertheless, I want to ask you to protect her. I know I have no right to ask you this. And Rand just kind of looks. He's like, yes, since I don't want to go through something like with Altara again, he kind of just leaves.
I need this man to stop being a fucking sad boy. Come on, bro.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was gonna say, wait, maybe Rand might not go, because I just realized if he's also waiting for a portal to Conchas and he gets there at that same time, Maruna could be the reason why they actually all go to Cart, because Maruna can literally just take them. Because there was the moment when they're on Willarv, Rand's like, they're like, where's Maruna? And Rand's like, he's in the sky, he can't transform back.
Yeah.
So they would have to be together at that exact. They would have to get there. So I don't actually know if Rand would actually go through even more time.
I think he still
might
will,
just
but
wait
still
a few days.
I still think they're gonna go through some shit on Conchas, because I don't think I seriously, I don't want this to be the case, but I seriously don't think Kalavinka's on the planet.
Okay. So wait, but isn't this at the end here us going back to kind of the present time before all the time travel stuff, a little before all it starts?
That's what they assume.
Yes,
is this how Maruna looks in
sure.
In his fist form when he's human-ish?
Yeah, this is right after Maruna talked to Agni. It seems like.
Because
it seems like it's combo.
Is he in space? Is he on a planet?
He's on
the right now with Simfati.
Yeah, I think he's by Rend Hollow.
Yeah, they were both near Renala because it was snowy still. Too.
So not gonna lie, that's
like
moment
mountains,
until now is probably still when he smooth talks Agar to sparing them. That was kind of raw, but I like when he finesses Maruna with the Eye of Perishment. I like that moment.
I think he knew that was Sagara.
I wouldn't be surprised. Rand didn't mention Maruna being in space. He just said he can't return to human form. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's why I think. Yeah.
There's Rand. There's that boy, young Kaz. Then we got Kubera 1. We got Kubera 2. I'm joking. We got Lila and Lise. The stife with the lines. And then look at my MC back. Look at her. Looking great.
Titties out.
And that is Abyss and Yiddy's out. Next chapter, Kubera, which is crazy. She talks about the hiatus here. Now, I want to tell you some of the chapters that look from the side story that looks very interesting. So, the Black Bear. There's the Black Bear and the Firefox. It's veracity and life flashing. The end of a Phoenix Magician is moving me. Whistling. Between first and second. Love Letter. Dawn of the Gods is moving me. I think they'll all be good, but like those were the titles that kind of stood out to me. I'm guessing the Black Bear and the Firefox, but probably someone's server forums that I'm not thinking about.
I think it's she talked about how they're gonna do Yaksha's love interest in Shuri.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the truth note, the Kaz, it would have been good to hide a Kurrigan, but I deleted it because it felt unnerving to stand among them in that scene. Like I don't mean that fake ass illusion. The Kalavinka being in third form, going into Room of Spirit and Time. At the time, I laughed when I saw the comments about what if Kalavinka died in that scene. The scene from Lila is from season 3, episode 161, and the scene of Lee's is a continuation of season 3, 160. The sky outside being like that means Lee's location is still in Rind Hollow.
Yep.
and then
That's where
talked
she
about some
last
other
was
things.
anyway.
So yeah, all right. So, man, what did you guys think of Abyss as an arc? If you had to kind of separate it from everything else, I know like this is one of those stories where like everything kind of seamlessly kind of goes into the next arc, but
I still don't think it's better than Wheel of Time, but I think it's probably the second or third best arc.
I think it's really good. I think I might like Anata more from top to bottom personally. I gotta revisit, but I might like that a bit more from top to bottom.
Wheel of Time is still my favorite. Wheel of Time is still my favorite in season 3.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. The Weight of Time was and the other side of the story was really
Weight of Time not well. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't have it in my top 3. I don't think.
Okay. Sorry guys,
I have to reread to remember.
I'm gonna come back here. Caloran and Maruna are in their space right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I read it already. Ran the dimension space. What do you guys think of Rand's response there? There's 2 ways to prevent the same thing with Reltara to happen again: protect Kalavinka properly or kill her off. That's actually a kind of a good point. I think he's gonna protect her though. I don't think.
I don't know what I would. I don't know what I would think if Rand killed Kalavinka.
Do you think she's supposed to make it to the year end 23?
Yes.
So do I. Tierra thinks she's gonna be alive, and Rand might have been talking to her kids before. I want to believe that. Interesting. Apparently, we have some bangers. A timey-wimey thing to go. There's a good way to end the time travel and answer a lot of questions about year end 5. Indeed, I like the end coming together. I think the most important thing about this is like it just makes sense of a lot of things that we it's not even to say we're fully unsure. We didn't get that like legitimate confirmation, because that theory of her being under a transcendental was a psychological transcendental was pretty prevalent for quite some time, but now we know for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's not implicit anymore. It's explicit. So we're in that part where we're like, this is what you want to do with the story. You don't want to just keep adding fucking mysteries. You want to answer some. That's how you do it. But yeah, it's a good arc, man. It's a good arc. It's a good arc.
I mean, she added a bunch of mystery in this arc too, but at least she answered some as well.
She answered a lot of questions. She's been answering a lot of questions for me though, because even Kubera, the god of Earth's kind of motivations and motives were answered to me in Anata. So.
Yeah, I think if Kubera is what I think it is, I think this is like finally like getting into the meat of what this dude is about. Like this is a prime time to do it.
Are we gonna see him? Are we gonna get at some point where we see his rise to godhood? If you're one of those people who believe that he was human before, I think we're gonna see that at some point or no? Would you care to?
I mean, I'd like to, but I don't think that's.
I only care if he's the only one. If he's the only person, only like example of somebody who was human in like one universe and like ascending for whatever reason, I don't want to know. If it's something that's a little more common or whatever, I probably like you could still explain it to some degree, but you wouldn't have to go into like specific detail about that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because I know people think as well that Agni came to the previous universe, or might have. It's possible he was just a god in the previous universe that they also took over, and Kubera was different. I'd like to see that, but for me, what I want the most, more than anything, is his relationship with Ananta.
The exposition of the Taraka clan, for example, was good too. Yes, it was. It was. But man, that boy Kaz, bro. I feel like he's going through it.
You think he knows things?
Yes.
About the future.
Yes, I do.
How does he know about the future?
There's a part of me that thinks that is it called an oracle or divination? There's a part of me that thinks he got one.
Or he's received one? Mm-hmm. Maybe from Kubera?
Oddly enough, that was my first guess. But there could be some other reasoning. Because, again, it wouldn't shock me at this point if they've had multiple conversations where it's like, hey, little burger, you tell that shit fake? He's like, all right.
Actually, that's another thing. I need to know how the fuck this man Kubera is able to see the future so prevalently.
Like when he looks at her and he can see where she ends up, yeah.
Yeah, like, this dude seems to be... I've said this a couple times before in, like, previous streams, but this dude seems to be in some sort of chess match with Kali and Vishnu, and to a certain extent, Brahma.
Okay. He's on Brahma's side, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Well, they might
I
not
do
be
not
friends,
think so.
but at least Brahma seems to respect him more than the other ones. Except
Yeah,
Yama.
their
He respects
motivations,
Yama.
to me seem completely different so far.
Yeah, so I could see him, especially because he's interact like the way he interacts even with Callie, the way in which like he's seen as like being from a different universe and stuff. He definitely seems to be like more than the others in some regards. So I could see it as maybe he might have been blessed with an extra ability by the if he was one of the winners or whatever, maybe he got blessed with an extra ability from the primevals, and that's why his fusion thing is his future telling is much better. I don't know.
Yeah, Corey, they can, but nobody's been able to see it to the extent that Kubera has. That's my thing. Like he knows shit that's just like completely having nothing to do with even insight. It seems.
I was
like,
gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. Insight lets you like not hide information from them, almost like they can read your mind or soul or whatever, however you want to interpret that, right?
Yes.
With him, it's almost like, let's say, I swear, all I have are sports. I'm so one dimensional. Let's say I'm like an 8-year-old LeBron. He go look at me and see a 4-time champion. You know, like he could see the future. When I'm like 36, I got 4 rings. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like he could go like almost like it goes that far. I don't recall anyone else doing that except Kubera, the God of Earth Kubera, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying. It's like, oh,
I mean, other than like Vishnu and Kali who have
like
powers over time.
Like if he saw me at 6, he's like, you will be homeless. He's like, yo, pathway's not right, bro. My boy, you gotta get some skills. And now he looks at me like, okay, you got a home. It's not a nice home, but you know, you changed up your life a little bit. So yeah, Agni saw this. Oh no, you're right. Agni did see it.
Yeah,
Agni did see it.
Agni did see the future, but that's why I said nobody's seen it to the extent that Kubera has so far.
Agni has seen it,
and he's able to like distinctly.
Because they were talking about how tragic her future and how short it was, lived is going to be. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh,
and because Kubera was seeing shit like how the timeline was changing. Even whilst it was happening, which is something else none of the other gods have seen.
Wait,
a scale carried over from his past life? Maybe Chandra. I can't wait. Oh, that's you. Agni saw Lee's future with multiple times. I mean, maybe he got some time shift from Anata when he killed him.
I think that's actually possible. If like when he like did like the name shit and like how the names are combined, I could see more if he absorbed some ability from Anata that improved it. That makes a lot of sense.
Also, is it Kubera vividly seeing the future or him meeting Lees of the future in the past? Listen, I think it's an insight thing, personally. That'd be interesting, though.
It might be like an Anata boosted ability that aids his insight to a level.
He did use to read Lees several times. Also, Kubera as good as Kali, though, and Vishnu. Ooh. He did not Yama, though. He's the best. He's the best out of all of them. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Shout out to my certified BAM lovers. I appreciate y'all. Gotta show love to the Priests of Fire. You already know what's brilliant, gang, over here. But I gotta give a huge thanks to my tier 3 subscribers, the 5th Zen Gods. Shout out to Zodiac, Sunny Katapali, Simi, Scobe, Revenant, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Chris, Johnny Rogers, Irene Sharda, Triss, David Langstaff, Childish Nujabes, AJ, and my boy Big Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.